Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 13th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Becky McClure. Present. Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, now moving on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes to the minutes? Would entertain a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes of November the 22nd.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, on to department head reports. First up, Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 793 calls for service, and 33 people were arrested for the following crimes. 7 for operating while intoxicated, 8 were wanted on a warrant, 5 for possession of stolen property, 2 for possession of cocaine, 2 for possession of meth, 1 for battery on an officer, 1 for auto theft, 1 for driving while suspended, 2 for carrying a handgun without a license, 1 for child molest, 1 for intimidation, 1 for maintaining a common nuisance, and 1 for unlawful possession of a syringe. In that same time frame, 12 handgun permits were sent off to the state for final approval. Since this is our last Board of Works meeting for the year, I went ahead and did some numbers so you guys would know how many calls the department's been on for the year. And these numbers are as of December 8th. So for the year, calls for service, 14,963. Reports, 2,079. Arrests, 452. Gun permits, 351. A couple of things on these. The arrests would have been much higher, but the jail was closed due to COVID for a while. So there's a lot more warrants out there as opposed to arrests. Then in the last few weeks, we've been getting our end of the year stuff done, making sure all the officers have their training for the year. So we've done defensive tactics, EVO. We have a firearms training coming up later this week. And then we've also got some officers recerted in TASER the last couple of weeks. That should get us all certified and all the hours in we need for the year. Then one last thing. I don't know if you guys seen on Facebook or not, we had our Christmas party over the weekend, and Officer Grady Robertson was awarded Officer of the Year, 3-year officer, and he had the most calls taken and the most reports taken for the whole department. And he, if you don't know him, he takes every one of those calls with a smile on his face. He's just a good guy. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Alan?
You know, you were kind enough to furnish those statistics for the year. Disregarding the arrest piece because of the situation you talked about with the jail and all, how do the other numbers compare with the past in terms of calls as well as the gun application permit requests?
Well, when the pandemic and stuff, we noticed a lot more gun permits. So those are up for the year. The calls, over my career, they seem to go up every year a little bit, and I don't think this is any different. I don't remember the exact numbers from last year, but we tend to gradually go up a little bit each year as our populations get bigger and we get more officers.
Right. Thank you.
Any additional questions from the board? Anything from the public? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chief. And next up will be Fire Department. Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety, Lebanon Fire has made 199 emergency calls of service, logged 295 training hours, performed 6 commercial pre-plans, and completed 60 commercial inspections. On Saturday, December 11th, Lieutenant Jason Adams was deployed with Indiana Task Force 1. They are traveling to Mayfield, Kentucky to support search and rescue operations following Friday's tornado. We ask that you please keep the victims, their families, and the first responders in your thoughts and prayers. Our lieutenant's process is now complete and the rankings have been posted. Noah Rinker received the #1 ranking and will be promoted to lieutenant January 1st, 2022. Noah is a 6-year member with LFD and has an outstanding performance record. We had 8 firefighters go through our lieutenant's process, and it was very, very close between the first to the 8th. We couldn't be happier with these 8 firefighters. We wish we could promote all of them. All of them did an excellent job, and we're very happy with the process. This week, all LFD crews will be participating in extrication tactical training at Zora's Wrecker Service. The trainings will focus on critical decision-making, advanced extrication techniques, and patient triage. We'd like to thank Zora's Wrecker Service for being a great public safety partner with LFD. December 6th through 11th, Noah Rinker, Tyler Aguirre, Sam Doherty, Jacob Fussell, Preston Asplicet, and Tori Bossum completed the Indiana State Certification for Safety Officer. This is a requirement for all of our lieutenants and people looking to become a lieutenant on the department. It's a very tough cert to get, and we appreciate these firefighters stepping up and going after it. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief Batts from the board? Anything from the public? Thank you, sir. Next up will be Parks and Recreation. John Messenger.
Good evening. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the Christmas parade that we had just a little week ago or so. I want to thank everybody, all the department heads, Chuck, Chad, Kevin, Ben, everybody that helped out. And there again, we couldn't do it without them. And Dave Newell, he took the barricades and put them out there. We had a very safe parade thanks to the department that we have. Mayor, appreciate you coming out for the parade. I think it was just such a beautiful night. I want to thank Kevin and Missy Krulik, R11. That event's downtown, and just seeing it, if anybody got to witness it, I think probably the biggest and best yet. I know that we had a lot of people that volunteered. I want to thank them also. Tammy Richardson, one that announced the parade. Joe LePage for being the MC there. He was a great MC and quite a bit of humor. And just wanted to say what a nice event that parade is growing. It used to just go around the park, and I'm so glad that we bring it downtown, and it couldn't be safe without all the help that we have. There again, Allison Morton for her help with setting up the event and making sure that it goes off smooth as silk. And of course, Mr. and Mrs. Claus couldn't do it without them, and Santa taking that child out of the audience and flipping on those lights. And again, the utilities have been a big help making that downtown look so good, and I couldn't do it without the utilities. I want to thank them. Christmas in the Cabin was also a huge success. Fully booked carriage rides. We got quite a few people in that weren't scheduled, but we squeezed them in. It was really nice. They had crafts, hot chocolate, cookies, and got a visit with Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, of course. Thanks to Home National Bank for sponsoring our carriage rides, and to Countryside Christian for volunteering. They helped out with all the crafts inside. Want to thank them a lot. El Gravy Chase on Thanksgiving had some tough weather. I think Rob, a big part of that with the Boys and Girls Club. Want to thank you for all your help in setting that up. I think it went off very smooth. Had a pretty good turnout for the first time event of a 5K. We've had quite a few of them this year, and just hope they'll keep coming back every year. I think they do in Zionsville, and they're thinking about reaching out to Whitestown next year, also doing ours. We're finishing up planting the memorial trees that we have in the park this week. Finally got some nice weather. We've started our 5-year master plan. It kicks off actually the stakeholder meeting on Thursday. We do this every 5 years, obviously. We will want everybody's input. We'll put out a survey here shortly. We'd like everybody's input that they can, but the stakeholder meeting is Thursday. Excuse me. And then once we get through the holidays here, we'll go ahead and have a few open public meetings so we can get the public's input on what we'd like to do. The stakeholders meeting is basically for the users of the parks, the events, all our sports activity and things like that, people that use our parks. I did in your packets just had a 2021, all the events that we had this year, and there again, Seashore Water Park revenues. I don't know if you received that. Hopefully she sent that out to you for all that, but it tells how many visitors we have. Again, 2020 was a tough year. We still opened our pool kind of late. This past season, we got to open it up, but we still had half capacity because of COVID most of the season. In finishing up, we did get a help out at the Shalom House last Tuesday. Served over 200 meals, so keep those people in your thoughts and prayers, and it's really nice what a beautiful community we have and how we're taking care of it. That's pretty much all I had.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board? Anything from the public?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, sir. Next up, Engineering Department, Kim Krulik.
Thank you. Pavement resurfacing projects for 2021, we're wrapping those up literally late last week and today with some touch-up on striping, stop bars, crosswalks. Those are going in. So we will be done with that here in the next couple days, just assuming everything has been completed over the last 3 days. We'll make one more pass through, and then we'll be ready to sign off on that and pay those final pay applications and close out our 2021 resurfacing program and our community crossing grant programs for that as well. Moving right into next year, though, our 2021 Community Crossing Grant Award of about $1 million, just shy of $1 million, is going towards 10 streets, 3 in Chadwick, Grant Boulevard, Dale Court, and Travis Drive, and then jumping over to the Tradewinds subdivision, Finch Court, Finch Boulevard, Acton Road, Snyder Lane. We're doing that entire subdivision, and then we're really hitting our frontage roads, Perryworth Road, Ransdale Road, Indianapolis Road will round out the program for next year. Later tonight, as you see on the table before you, we will be opening bid packages for that street resurfacing program for next year. And then we will meet, we'll have a special meeting of this body on Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. to hopefully make awards based on that opening once we had a chance to review those bid packages. In the same vein, road impact fee ordinances, the city will consider the impact fee ordinance on second reading later this evening at the council meeting. And if adopted tonight, that would go into effect in 6 months, which would effectively be Monday, June 14th of 2022. Whit Road Bridge, remind everyone the project is still scheduled to start in 2022. We're going to start June 1st, right after school gets out, and it will be completed and open to traffic by August 1st, 2022. The Elmwood Bridge, happy to report that just last week we received our Memorandum of Agreement for Adverse Effect to the Historic Bridge. This was an agreement that is actually not we have to sign as a party to it, but this is an agreement between the United States Army Corps of Engineers, and the Indiana Division of Historic Preservation and Archaeology through the State Historic Preservation Office. So this is basically because the bridge was deemed historic, as one part of the bridge sits in the historic community of Ulen. The bridge was deemed historic, but to be honest, this is a pretty good memorandum that we received. There's nothing too egregious that we have to do here. We just have to photo document the historic structure. And then we have to, which we were already planning to do, we have to replicate the historic arched bridge rails and planters on the corners of the bridge. So again, we were planning to do that anyway, so we were happy to report that the Corps of Engineers and the Indiana SHPO office have agreed with our recommendations, and we'll be moving that forward. Keep in mind, we will put this in for community crossings in round 2 of next year, looking at 2023 construction, hopefully to also be done in the summertime outside of the school year. Grant Street project, We've moved things around on that a little bit. Right-of-way acquisitions is continuing at this point. We're making right-of-way offers, and we've been working with NDOT to set new letting dates. So we've now pushed our official letting date to May 5th of 2022, and this will require us to have right-of-way certified by February 28th. We are also adjusting the schedule because of this later bidding date. We're going to do this project now in 2 phases. One will be all the work on Williams Street, so from the west side of Grant Street on Williams to the edge of the bridge, just west of Ann Street. The plan would be to construct that this summer between June and August while school is out, and then we will essentially pause the project. There'll be no winter activities going on, and then we'll resume the project in the spring of '23, where we will reconstruct Grant Street from Washington Street North to Fordyce. And on Fordyce Street, right-of-way acquisitions are continuing. We're tentatively, though, looking at a 2024 construction timeline, so we've got some time there to move that one forward. Big Four Trail, notices of award are expected to be approved later this evening for construction of that project, and we are anticipating construction beginning in the spring. RFP for inspection services on the street with responses due on the 22nd of December. Stone Eater Bike Park, happy to report that Honorable Judge Justin Hunter of Clinton County has issued his ruling in favor of the City of Lebanon and the bike park project, so we can move that forward. The county has an appeal period that will end on the 23rd of December. So in the meantime, we are working through our final designs, and we are working through outstanding permitting issues with IDEM. Other development projects, really, of course, the big ones, the Cardin Associates Indoor Sports Complex and the Waterford project. We're continuing to work with those design teams and those development teams on all the preliminary design for all the on-site and off-site infrastructure, and moving that forward, continuing those coordination efforts. Jumping up to grant programs, we did submit 2 grants to the federal rule call under their 2027 Notice of Funding Availability. That is Witt Road from Lafayette Avenue north to just north of the intersection of Austin Drive, including a roundabout at the intersection of Lafayette Avenue, and Grant Street Phase 2, as we would call it, from Indianapolis Avenue to Washington Street. With that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions for Kevin from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up will be Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Evening, board members. Planning Department continues to remain active over the last couple of weeks. We did do an additional 60 building inspections, so we're still averaging about 5-6 inspections a day, so strong activity there, and the construction continues. We did also issue 40 new permits over the last couple of weeks, including 5 new single-family permits. So again, seeing good activity there still, and I know we will have a couple more, at least one more neighborhood by the end of the year that will be ready to start constructing homes, so we'll see that activity pick up going into next year. So they were hoping that they would have some of their first models starting to go up in December, but I think they're probably running out of time for that at this point. But they do expect to start building some of those models in first part of next year, and that would be in the Cedar Ridge neighborhood for Fisher Homes. So a lot of good activity going on out there. A lot of other construction projects continue to move forward. And then, as Kevin mentioned, we've got a lot of big projects we're working on going into 2022. So expect to see a lot of activity on those fronts and a lot of construction activity starting in the summertime. So a lot of good things happening. On the training front, we're trying to be a little bit more proactive for this next year in terms of getting some things on the books. And one of the first things we're looking at in the end of March is the Professional Trail Builders Association has their Sustainable Trails Conference. This is something that'll be really important for us as we start looking into the construction and maintenance of Stone Eater Bike Park. It's all the natural surface trails and how to maintain those properly so they don't really affect the environment and aren't causing erosion and things like that. So we'll have a handful of people hopefully going to the conference coming up in March, looking into some of those things, and then looking then into some of the additional planning and code enforcement conferences that go on throughout the year, making sure we've got somebody going to all those as necessary. So a lot of good things coming up this next year related to that as well. Code enforcement side, again, still remains very active over the last couple of weeks. Continue looking at ways to further become more efficient. And then obviously had a conversation earlier this evening talking about how we can be better about follow-up activity on when we get complaints. If they're not addressing those complaints soon enough, then making sure we've got our process set up for fees or fines and then going into court if we have to. So again, just trying to get all our I's dotted and T's crossed so we get more efficient there and make sure people are responding when we've got issues that they need to correct. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben? Go, Dick.
Ben, will you be working with the Parks Department on that trail conference to
Yeah,
talk with
that
them to
was
see
one thing
if
is-
John or anyone there for the Parks Department might want to go to that conference?
Yeah, I haven't talked to John yet. I was thinking as I was going to make mention of that, I wanted to talk to John and see if he had anybody from either himself or from his staff that wanted to go along
Sure.
to that. Makes a lot of sense there as well. So that was something I'd made a note of
Okay.
earlier as I was making notes, so.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up would be Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's everybody doing tonight? Leaf season's trying to wrap up this week. If we got any left, I'm not sure they didn't blow to another county over the weekend, but every time we try to wrap up, the weather's nice and people keep breaking, but that's the plan. I mean, we gotta at some point call it so we can have plow trucks ready, but we're gonna break them down a little bit at a time so we can keep most of them out. But by Friday, we'll call it, whether there's leaves or not, more than likely. We might go out and pick up a little bit, but it won't be much. Speaking of that, we were out early Saturday morning unclogging drains from the leaves. So nobody did. It's just, the leaves, they could have been 3 blocks away with the rain we had, and it just took them to the drain naturally. So we finally, thanks to the police department for blocking some of the roads for us, keeping us safe while we were unclogging them. So that helped a lot. It's pretty deep, some of them, but we got them. We have had some crew out clean off storm drains, obviously from all the leaf debris covering them up. So we started that today, and it's pretty heavy. So we'll probably be doing that most of the week. It's supposed to rain again, I think, this later in the week. So we'll start over again doing that. We was able to complete a couple of our big storm projects we were trying to wrap up for the season. So that's a relief. One of them was on Lafayette Avenue there by Riley Road. We've always had water standing there, so good to say when we were going out for the floods, it was dry, so it's working. And then the other one was the ditch drainage at Chadwick. They finished that up for us. Finally got that dredged out. They just got a little bit of work still to do. They'll let it dry out, and then they'll seed the banks and stuff like that they usually do. We will have the brush truck out this week, obviously from the big heavy winds and stuff. We got brush everywhere, so it's out and about as well. So get your brush out there, and if you got any leaves, you might want to get them out there. And that should be it. We should be good to go after that. That's all I got.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave from the board?
Hey, David, what's the repair on North Meridian Street? What is that? Where's it blocked off?
It's something to do with the flats,
Oh, okay.
the flats project.
Yeah, they're running
I believe they had to,
water sewer connecting
yeah, they
in
had to
the,
pour some concrete, and with the
Oh, okay.
weather like it is, you gotta let it cure. It takes longer than normal.
Okay.
yep.
So it's actually done, I believe, and they're just letting that cure.
They made the patch today. Really was an issue with concrete availability. They'd hoped to get it mid-next week, but today was the earliest day they could get concrete on site. The patch has been completed. We're letting it cure for 2 days, and we'll open it up by Wednesday evening.
Okay.
Yeah, it just takes a little longer with the weather like this for the
Yeah.
concrete.
Any additional questions? Alan?
Yes.
Dave, I know we've had an equipment issue trying to get the equipment to repair the caution light up on Elm Swamp at Gulfside, that solar
Yeah,
light.
we just got we went ahead and replaced everything, so we got that in Friday. So hopefully this week, we have that back working.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was just a matter of time getting the parts.
I need.
Any other questions? Anything from the public? Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Communications and Community Development, Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. With the unseasonably warm weather that Dave was talking about, the Lafayette Avenue mural is nearing completion. The final of the mini ocean escape murals, the big octopus, should be wrapped up by this week. And if you're wanting to know more about this project and future ones, we talked with local artist Scott Trafford on our Love in Lebanon podcast, our latest issue there, Scott kind of talks about his history growing up in Lebanon, kind of the thoughts behind this particular mural, and then ones that we want to have in the future. And so you can hear that podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Video creation updates for the second year in a row. We went Facebook Live with the Christmas parade downtown. So big thanks to John and his team at the Parks Department and also the Heart of Lebanon for providing a great experience for residents and visitors, to a lot of visitors this time around this year. So that was fantastic. A couple kind of notes with that. Along with Facebook Live, if you want to check out the parade, we kind of added some things to it and put it on our YouTube channel. It is too long lengthwise, time-wise, to be able to put on our public access channel. So I'm in the process of putting together kind of a Christmas reel, a highlight of sorts, mixing it along the pictures we took as well. That'll be under the 9-minute threshold that we can put on our public access channel, so you can watch it right here and kind of see and hear the performer, Chad Crooner Brown, that was participating in that. So that'll be up hopefully tomorrow. The YouTube Christmas parade is up now on our YouTube channel. Additionally, worked with the Lebanon Police Department and Lebanon High School, featuring some crime scene investigation interns. 3 young people who are just totally geeking out about the crime scene investigation experience they're getting with LPD. We talked to all 3 of them, including some supervisors as well, and be able to kind of be a fly on the wall, so to speak, and had a lot of fun with that. It was great to see some young people really finding out what careers they want to go down, the kind of path that is with the help of city departments. So that's fantastic. One of the several interns that are in different departments as well. Let's see, worked with LPD on offensive tactics, and as Chief talked about, the EVO stuff as well. I'm going to put that together as part of a larger project to highlight what LPD does, but also use it for recruitment as well. Visual marketing, the handouts came in, the brochures are in. They tout the city's location, its proximity to Indianapolis, Chicago, Lafayette. Also touting our great parks departments, our quality of life overall, our schools, and of course our downtown. Dropped off those brochures. Hampton Inn had a ribbon cutting, so went out there, and some other hotels as well. We also went up to the rest stop on the north on 65, coming both directions. So there are some Lebanon brochures is there as well. Those are for current residents. There's a QR code that you can get city services. You can find the city's website. They're for new residents, so with utilities, they can kind of get connected in their community, and also for visitors as well, so they can see all the great things that are going on within Lebanon. In the new year, a new marketing campaign is going to be rolled out aimed at introducing Lebanon to our nearby neighbors. And so there'll be a number of different avenues. We'll go down that process to be able to introduce Lebanon. There are a lot of misconceptions. 1 about pronunciation, 2 about location, and just 3 overall knowledge of our city. And so we'll be kind of rolling that out to our neighbors to the east, to the southwest, and to the south and northwest as well. So rolling that out in the new year.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Anything from the public? Thank you, sir. Okay, that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. Is there anything from the board for old business? Nothing on the agenda? Nope. Okay, new business then. First item up is a surplus items request from the Parks Department. This is for the Toro lawnmowers.
Yes.
John or Bill, whoever.
Yeah,
he's got
attached there the 2 mowers, and Bill has looked at them. We'll be basically trading them in for 2 other new mowers, 72-inch diesel Toro motors. We got 3 bids from different companies, and they are the lowest one that we will be going with in January.
Okay. We filled out surplus forms, and everything is fine for trading, for surplus.
Okay. Any questions for Bill or John on that board? Okay. Would entertain a motion then to declare the Toro mowers surplus.
I make a motion that we declare the 2 Toro 2019 mowers surplus, VIN number 406673673 and 406673674.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Those declared surplus. Thank you, John. Thank you, Bill. All right, next up is RFP selection for Grant Street construction inspection. Kevin Krulik.
Thank you. So Grant Street Phase 1 construction inspection, we received proposals through an RFP process ran by the state on November 1st is when those proposals first came in the door. And I want to thank the mayor and Scott Calvert for taking the time to read these. This is a record number of proposals. We received 12 proposals from engineering firms. And I'm real glad, and I'm sure Scott and the mayor are real glad that we limited that page count to 6 pages as opposed to the normal 12 pages that the state allows. So we had really good response. 12 engineering firms responded. Those are VS, Hansen, Clark Dietz, USI, HWC, BLN, or Butler, I'm sorry.
Beam Longest Neff.
Beam Longest and Neff, too many initials. American Structure Point, Crossroad Engineers, BLA, GRW, First Group, and APEC. And after we tallied all the scores, I had to report that VS was the top scoring proposal. So that is VS Engineering. We've had a good relationship with them. They also did the inspection on Indianapolis Avenue Phase 2. So it was close scoring, competitive process, but VS Engineering just edged out into that top spot. And so with that, I would like to make a recommendation to this body that we accept their proposal and move forward into the contract negotiation phase at this time.
Any questions for Kevin on that?
Is that BS or VS?
VS.
Victor Stanley.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to select VS Engineering for construction inspection services on Grant Street, pending final legal review, and begin that process.
I'll make a motion, we approve VS Engineering for the Grant Street inspection contract.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Kevin. Don't go anywhere. Next up is bid opening 2022 street resurfacing program.
Thank you. Street resurfacing program, I won't go into the details as we discussed it in my report, but there are 7 packages that were received, and it appears these were all received prior to the 3 p.m. Deadline. So in no particular order, I will open these and read these totals to you. The first bid package is from DC Construction. That's David Charlie Construction. Let's see, with a base bid total of $560,490.95, and a alternate bid total of $1,343,390.12. So that's just a little under 1.9 million. Remind everyone that our total budget for this project, including our Grant Street, or our community crossing award, was just shy of $2 million. The second package is from Midwest Paving. Their base bid total was $553,311.75, and a total alternate bid package of $1,375,174. That was Midwest Paving. Third package is from Grady Brothers Incorporated. with a base bid total of $526,076. And a alternate bid total of $1,292,720. Next package is from Baumgartner and Company Asphalt Services. Base bid total $579,279.50. Alternate bid total, sorry, make sure I'm reading the correct one. I do not see a total for their alternate bids. I see individual itemized proposals for the two alternates, but I don't see a total. So we'll calculate that. But that was from Baumgartner and Company Asphalt Services. The next package is from Reith Riley Construction Company. With a base bid proposal of $680,000. And an alternate bid total of $1,456,000. Next package is from Calumet Civil Contractors. With a base bid total of $624,000. And an alternate bid total of $1,494,000. Calumet Civil Contractors. Last, Harding Group. Base bid total $546,831.51. Alternate bid total $1,209,385.94. Those are all the bid packages that we received prior to the deadline. They have now been opened and read aloud. I will total those all up and verify them for responsiveness and completeness, and then come back to you at the special meeting on Thursday afternoon with an award based on the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder.
And that meeting will be what time, Kevin?
3 p.m. 3 p.m. in this office, in this room on Thursday, December 16th at 3 p.m.
Yep. Thank you, Kevin. All right, next is bid opening for the 2022 annual supply bids.
Thank you. We have 4 packages to open at this time, all received prior to the 3 p.m. deadline today. The first one is from Wilson Contracting LLC. This was an itemized bid form where contractors are allowed to submit on just the items they wish to supply the city with. And it appears that Wilson has supplied two bid prices for materials. One is for concrete sidewalks removal and replacement. That is at $11.50 per square foot. And then also concrete ADA ramps removal and replacement at $950 each. Again, that was Wilson Contracting. Next one is from Triangle Asphalt Paving Corporation. Let's see. They supplied unit price proposals for liquid bituminous material at $5.95 per gallon. NDOT number 11 surface, including milling and replacement within the city of Lebanon limits at $103 per ton. NDOT number 8 binder, including removal and replacement within the city limits at $98 per ton. NDOT number 9 binder, including removal and replacement within the city limits at $98 per ton. And 2-inch asphalt milling, removal, and disposal of material to a 2-inch depth at $9.25 per square yard. And that appears to be all of the unit prices they proposed on. The next one is from the Harding Group. The Harding Group proposed to supply number 11 surface material picked up by the city of Lebanon at the bidder's facility at $64 per ton. Number 8 binder material picked up by the city of Lebanon at the bidder's facility at $65 per ton. Number 9 binder material picked up by the city of Lebanon at the bidder's facility at $56.25 per ton. MWS winter mix material picked up by the city of Lebanon at the bidder's facility at $120 per ton. And that is all on their itemized form. And the last bid we received is from Milestone Contractors. They submitted the following unit prices. Number 8 binder material picked up by the city at their facility, $57 per ton. Number 9 binder material picked up by the city at their facility, $57.50 per ton. MWS winter mix picked up by the city at their facility at $135 per ton. And that completes their itemized bid package. So that is all I have for our 2022 annual supply bids. I will also review these, compile results, provide you with a bidder's tabulation, and be back here on Thursday at 3 p.m. to give you the results and ask for your approval on a recommendation.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Any questions for the board on that? Okay. Next up then is bid award, Big Four Trail, the urban section. Kevin?
Thank you very much. So you might remember that when we were here on November 22nd, we opened 2 bid packages for construction of the Big Four Trail urban section. That is a construction of the trail from South Street south to Abner Longley Park, through the park, and connecting to the existing trail on Hendricks Drive. And those bids were received from Calumet Civil Contractors and Morphy Construction. The lowest bidder at that time was Calumet Civil Contractors at $1,836,000. I will remind everyone that is the lowest bid, and that was approximately, well, not approximately, that was $15,010.31 below our engineer's estimate. And based on the bid package that we received and reviewed, we would recommend issuing a notice of award to Calumet Civil Contractors as the lowest, most responsive, and responsible bidder.
Okay. Any questions for that from the board?
That amount again was 1,136 even?
$1,836,000.
836.
Yep, 1,836,000.00.
I'll make a motion, we accept the bid from Calumet for the Big Four Trail in the amount of $1,836,000.
And issue notice to proceed, is that correct as well?
I'm sorry, motions should include authorization to issue notices of award and prepare final contracts, and ask that the mayor be given permission to execute those on behalf of the city.
So moved, Tanya.
It's all recorded.
I'll rerun that over and over and over.
Yeah.
I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, right.
So we have a motion, is there a second?
Can I second?
Second from, I think, Bill. Motion a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None opposed, that is adopted. That will be awarded to Calumet. So, all right, thank you, Dick, thank you, Kevin. Next up, alley closure request, extension 109 West Main Street. This is also Kevin's.
Yes, also at the last meeting, you approved an alley closure request associated with the renovations of the property at 109 West Main Street. These are the revisions that are being done as part of a facade grant program. This is the tuck pointing primarily. That contractor is working on all the brick tuck pointing and the reestablishment of window openings. Specifically right now, they're working in the alley. It's taken a little longer than they anticipated, and so they would like to renew their alley closure request, extending that through the end of the year. Obviously, with the holidays, the end of the year is not that far away in terms of working days. So they're just asking for an extension of that right-of-way closure request of the alley. Remind everyone that this is only closed during the day, during working hours. They reopen it for the evenings.
And it's open on the weekends, right?
It is open on the weekends,
Okay.
yes.
Any questions, concerns about that? Okay. I would entertain a motion then to approve the closure request as requested.
I make a motion that we allow the extended alley closure request for 109 West Main Street.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second from Alan, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that is approved. And I think this is your last thing, right, Kevin? We have change order number 9, DC Construction Street Resurfacing Program.
This is the last one, and these are the easiest ones. This is a change order that we're using to close out the job, zeroing out all the quantities that we have left in the job. This is actually a negative change order. So we finished, there was one project that we did cancel, but a lot of the projects, some of the bigger road projects, we had overestimated the tonnage of asphalt. So this is a negative change order in the amount of $219,589.56. Again, no cost, no new cost to the city on this. This is just closing out those open itemized contract line items to a total of $219,589.56.
Any questions for that from the board? Okay. At this time then, I would entertain a motion to approve change order number 9 for DC Construction.
I make a motion, we approve change order number 9 for DC Construction.
We have a motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, negative change orders are always easy to approve. Thank you, Kevin. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from the board? Okay, we'll move on to claims then. Entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims.
Motion to approve the claims. Is there a second? Second. Second to pay our bills. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion from the board? Any public comment? Okay, we entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, January 10th at 6:15 PM. 5:30. Excuse me, sorry. January 10th, 2022 at 5:30. So we will see you next year, and thanks for joining us. The redevelopment commission is up next.